Well, hello there and welcome back, everybody. Long time no see, Dan here. And yes, believe it or not, we are making a new sim racing video. So yeah, it's early December 2020. Everybody knows this has been a crazy year. It's affected tons of people in tons of different ways. And while we've been pretty fortunate, it did affect my my whole sim racing YouTube channel kind of thing. And so basically since February of this year, I've been down. No sim racing, no gear. And to make a very long story short, basically both myself and my wife had to go from working in office scenarios to working from home. So this room, which was my sim studio, completely turned into basically a dual purpose office for both me and myself, which meant there was literally no room for sim racing or creating content and all that stuff. And so what ended up happening was we were working from here. I ended up getting rid of a lot of stuff because we just didn't have room for it, and consolidated, and basically we use this until now. And actually my wife is still using this currently as an office. That's kind of her setup over there on that side. And then I've kind of got a little spot where I was working still here, but I am actually working back at the office, at my office, and I've been for some time, but we finally, if you can see right back there, after all these months, nearly an entire year, I managed to build up a small sim racing rig, much less substantial than what I was using before, a smaller rig, a less substantial wheel, and I'll make another video about what I'm using specifically down the road. That's not what this video is for. But yeah, so long story short is I'm back. Things are going to be minimal though. I'm using webcam to make things easy. My system is a little bit smaller. If gameplay and stuff looks a little more stuttery than normal, it's because I'm using not as big as or not as hefty as a graphics card and stuff like that. So you have to excuse things like this, not to mention I'll be very rusty for a little while making videos and things like that. I'm just glad to be back. I'm really glad to be sim racing. Hopefully you guys are glad to hear from me. So hopefully over time here we'll get back into making regular content, and we'll see. But anyways, enough blabbering. You guys know how I like to blabber, and it's been a super long time since I made a video, so I'm probably blabbering a lot on this one. But what I want to talk about in this video was AMS2. So my situation with AMS2 is quite different than everybody else's, or most people's, because since I haven't been sim racing at all, I missed the release of AMS2, which I was really excited about before the whole COVID came and stuff like that. I was really looking forward to it because AMS1, Automobilista 1, is literally like one of my favorite games because of the physics and the way you feel in control of the cars. No other sim that I've ever driven do I feel as in control of the cars as AMS1. So, you know, it's really looking forward, as was a lot of people, to AMS2, but the thing is, I've never gotten to play it. Literally, I've had this rig behind me set up about 2 weeks, and so for 2 weeks now, I've been dabbling, getting settings back set up, and sim racing, and AMS2 was one of the first sims that I downloaded and got into because I was really excited about it. So I missed when they first brought it in, and I know I've seen videos of people saying it had issues, and then they fixed issues, and things have gone back and forth, and it's kind of been just interesting to hear what people say. However, for my first-hand experience, this is the first time that I'm playing it. Early December 2020. I don't know about anything. It's up to date as of today, or as of a couple weeks ago. So, you know, my first-hand experience is where it is today in early December, not when it originally came out. So I just wanted to kind of give you a quick overview of my initial impressions and thoughts. And this is gameplay in the background of me racing in Automobilista 2, AMS2. So visually, as I think most of us were expecting, the visuals are fantastic. They look good. I didn't expect any less. It is sitting on the Madness engine, and Project Cars 2 to me always looked good. Very punchy colors, nice visuals, and basically AMS2 obviously has those same visuals. So as I was expecting, it looks very, very good. Maybe a little more punchy colors than I would like. I prefer that more natural color tone, but it does look great, as you can see on your screen here, with this gameplay in the background. And so, as I was saying, I was expecting that, and it looks really, really good. And from that point of view, I was really happy with it. Also, the user interface is a huge improvement over the original game. It basically, honestly, as many of you guys probably know, as you've been playing it for months and months and months, it looks like a direct copy over from Project Cars 2, which is not necessarily a bad thing. The user interface is much better. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is what I actually do not like as of early December with my initial impressions. And that's actually going to be the driving dynamics of AMS 2. So, as many of you know, and I've said, and many of you, I believe, agree with me, that AMS 1 was a phenomenal game when it came to driving dynamics and feeling like you were absolutely in control of the vehicle that you were driving, no matter what it was, across the board. And sadly, I don't get that from AMS 2. It's weird. It's kind of hard to explain, but I almost feel like I'm driving on the limit even when I'm not. I find that, and I've gone back and forth driving the same cars that I know I loved in AMS 1. I would literally drive that car and then hop into AMS 2 and go back and forth, and I've got the settings for force feedback and stuff as close as I possibly can. And I just don't feel as in control of the vehicles on AMS 2 for some reason. I find that I'm having to do way more counter steering than I ever had to in AMS 1, and a lot of other sims, not to mention that. It just feels like across the board, regardless of what vehicle you're driving, the back ends of the cars are very twitchy during cornering. And I've driven many, many laps, heated the tires up. I thought maybe it was just a situation where AMS 2 had a longer tire warm-up period, but I've run laps upon laps and done races and practice sessions and all kind of stuff. And the cars just feel really twitchy, and I'm having to do a lot of counter steering. And so I feel like I'm not really in control of the vehicle, which sucks, because what I wanted from AMS 2 was basically, I wanted the developers to take the physics, the force feedback, and the driving dynamics and leave them exactly like they were. Don't change anything. They were perfect in my eyes, at least in my opinion. The driving dynamics were perfect. And basically port that right over to the Madness engine, where there'd be better visuals and maybe they could tweak the sounds a little bit. But honestly, I still think the sounds in AMS 1 are better also. But that's not really this video. The main thing is the driving dynamics. Something, and you guys can let me know what your experience is in the comments below. I know a lot of people say that they may have been better before when the game initially came out, but I didn't get a chance to try them like that. So now this is what I know as of 2 weeks ago. It's the first time I played it. And it really has an interesting, I feel like they've completely changed the driving dynamics, and everything I've driven that I could basically drive balls to the walls on the edge in AMS 1, I feel like I'm just not in control of the car. And that was one of my favorite things about AMS 1, is how connected you felt to the vehicle that you were driving across the board. And I feel like they've lost that, at least from what I can tell in AMS 2. And I've tried a bunch of different settings. Like I said, I thought maybe it was just a different amount of time to get the tires heated up, but I've spent a tremendous amount of time letting the tires heat up, and I know I'm driving on good tires. I've tried tweaking settings and stuff, but there's just something twitchy is the word I would use, where I feel like I'm having to counter steer in situations that I would not necessarily have to counter steer in the real world. So let me know if that's your experience. Guys, I'm really excited to be back sim racing. I've done a ton of sim racing the last 2 weeks. If you are curious what my current setup is, and this will be my setup for a while, other than brakes, I'm going to upgrade the brakes. Just because I'm limited on space and I wanted to keep it kind of small. My space over here, or my setup, and I will do an overview of this in another video, but my setup is, I went back, I purchased another GT Omega ART rig, because this is my third one now. I've loved them. There's some updates I noticed on this one from the last one I had. I can do a video on that if you guys want to see that, because they did make some improvements from, let's say 2 years ago when I bought one. And then I'm running a Thrustmaster TSXW with the Sparko wheel add-on, and I like that a lot. I always have liked the Thrustmaster TSPC and TSXW, that wheelbase. They're basically the same on the inside, just look a little different on the outside. I've always really liked that setup, so that's what I'm running now. I am running the T3PA standard pedals, because that's what came in the box. I am going to upgrade those at some point in time, just not really sure when that will be. Soon, I just haven't had a chance to. I definitely have to have a load cell pedal. But I'll probably just go with the Thrustmaster pedal, keep it with Thrustmaster for now, and then maybe down the road, when I get this space back, if I actually do it, I have room to get a lot of crap again and get a bigger rig and stuff like that. Maybe I'll go another direct drive. We'll see what happens. But right now, I'm really happy with that. Really happy to be back racing, and really happy to be back talking with you guys. So I hope that you are. Again, give me a little bit of room here, guys, with you know, editing and making things look pretty, because I'm taking an easy route for now. You know, using a webcam instead of a official nice camera like I used to do and stuff like that. So we're going to work on it. We're going to get going as we can with the tools that we have to use right now. But I'm really looking forward to getting back into content creation as well as sim racing. I've done a ton of sim racing the last couple days. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. I'm really glad to be chatting back with you, and I've missed sim racing and missed mostly conversating with those of you, you know who you are out there, friends that I've made in the sim racing community, both gaming, driving wise, as well as other content creators that I've really missed associating with. So glad to be getting back with that. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Let me know what you think about let me know what you think. They're so similar, I keep calling it Project Cars. Let me know what you think about AMS 2 in the comments below. That's me, guys. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. We'll see you later.